everyone, it's Mrs. Tomaselli. Okay, let's talk about particles. So we're nearing the end of kind of our first unit, and I want to just discuss the particle nature of matter. So what does that mean? Basically, what that means is that everything is made of particles. So we started off this unit by asking the question, why are wildfires so difficult to extinguish? And we've done lots of kind of activities and research around that, trying to understand, how matter behaves, what mass is, right? Um, Trying to use like our best understanding to explain things as far as we know. So I want you to remember back to kind of this video that we watched here about what are the things that are necessary in order for a fire to burn. And I want to call your attention to the image at the beginning of this video. Today we're going to take a look at something you've probably all seen before, a candle flame. Now you wonder, what makes a candle? Okay, well, oh, there we go. I can make it bigger. So this image on the cover of this video basically is what I want you to pay attention to. So in this video, if you think back to this was a few weeks ago, there were these images of these atoms here, and this is what we call particles. And so this idea that the particles in the air, and we all know that oxygen is in the air, right? We breathe it. They're interacting with the particles in the wax of this candle and explaining how combustion can happen, basically, which is a fire um, by the wax, by all of these particles interacting, basically. So let's kind of dive into that a little bit. So on this front picture, you'll notice that you'll see these kind of different images of particles. So up here, you'll notice that this is a picture coming from just the air here, and maybe even the clouds, but this is a gas. So notice how far away or far apart these particles are. These happen to be particles of water, and so you guys probably all know that water is H2O. That's pretty common knowledge, or sometimes we call water H2O, not really thinking about it being a chemistry term. But that's because there are two hydrogens, so that's represented by these little white parts of the atom or of the molecule, and then one oxygen, and so that's the big red one. And so in a gas form, notice the particles are far apart. In this solid form, in water, the particles are arranged really neatly in a crystal format. And in liquid, they're all jumbled together. They're just kind of moving around each other. So objectives of these slides are to develop models to describe the atomic composition of simple molecules. So we've talked about what models are before. So remember, it's any type of drawing to support your explanation. And so being able to kind of look at those drawings of particles is really important in trying to understand what's going on with chemistry, because in chemistry we draw those particles a lot when we're making compounds and molecules and trying to explain what's happening in chemical reactions. So you're going to use those particle level models to explain interactions of energy and matter within a system. So think back to the beginning of this unit, right, which was all about wildfires. We know that there are interactions of energy. We can feel that in the heat and the light that's given off, and then also matter. And that has to do with the fuel and the air that is interacting with the fire. So we have kind of these two different words that we use a lot. So one is atom and one is molecule. So matter, all matter, everything from your cell phone to your hair is made of atoms. There are there's over 120 or so types of atoms. That's what we call elements, right? So each type of atom is called an element, and elements are represented by a chemical symbol. So in these particles here, you'll notice each one has different letters. That's the chemical symbol.